Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Monday night Zoom edition. We've had a good few days in crypto. Bitcoin has been hanging around 23K, can't quite push through. Pretty good weekend. We held the gains that we had last week throughout the weekend, and things are looking good. Mostly sideways today, but let's look at the chart. Okay, folks should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes, yes, we are.
Thank you. Hey, Craig's here. Good. I think I saw Linnell too. Hello. All right. So I drew in this little caricature of 23K. As you can see, we broke through it on Saturday, couldn't close. Same thing on Sunday, couldn't close. Today, doesn't look like we closed and we're starting a new candle. Yeah, we just got past 5 o'clock. So that seems to be some psychological resistance. I don't really see it on the chart necessarily in the past. Seems like, yeah, we went over this on Friday. I saw resistance around 23.6, 23.7 before we could make a big move up. But you can see we don't have much resistance at all between, say, 24.4 and 28. So if we can break through that 24.4 area, well, I guess we have to do 23 first, then we should have a nice shot up into the mid to high 20s. So that's what's going on with Bitcoin. On Ethereum, we have broken through the top middle portion of the trend that we've been in since November, since June. Yeah, since June. And at 1600, these values are roughly between 1 and 2000. And 1600 obviously more than halfway through. This increase that I'm about to show you since January 1st applies to Bitcoin as well, right around 35 to 40% increase. So that looks pretty good. We were sort of speculating on Friday whether we think we're in the home stretch. Have we seen the bottom? I'm interested to hear what you guys think. We did have a decent weekend, not great, but we did hold the gains that we achieved last week. So I always say we when we talk about these things, like the 5 or 6 of us had a role in that. Maybe we did, I don't know. But anyway, it's good to see the charts moving up again. So feeling pretty good about that. Anybody have anything to add? Any maybe news items or things they want to talk about the market in general before we go into Altcoin Alert? Any baseless speculation you care to share?
Absolutely nothing from me.
Craig,
Except
come on.
except you got your dip in the weekend.
My what in the weekend?
Dip.
Yeah. Got a little bit of a dip. I've actually got a long and a short position on Bitcoin at about the same place, but I'll discuss that more later. I'm also rocking the tropical background because it's kind of chilly here in Arizona, below 50 today. Burr.
Well, I think we're in a dangerous place. I think that
Patrick, hey.
the reason that everything crashed was because so much Bitcoin and other currencies were stolen by people from FTX, and they've just been cashing them in. So I would wait until Friday before I would assume this is a uptrend.
All right. Patrick's preaching some caution here.
Yeah, people are going to try to trade their stolen cryptos for money, and it looks good right now, but I'm going to wait another week.
Okay. Now, do you have some that you bought low that you're thinking of offloading, or is this before you accumulate more, or what are you thinking?
Well, everything that I have is twice as expensive as it is now, so I'm going to wait for an uptrend. And then when I follow the signals, I will probably buy some more low and hope they'll go high for a long-term investment. So per person, I can make under 40,000 tax-free after a year. Otherwise, I'd have to pay income tax on day trading, buy, sell, buy, sell.
All right, so Patrick's talking about, hodling or long-term swing trading. And I asked him a question about it, so that's cool. The focus of what I talk about though is mostly day trading. So despite the tax consequences, I don't mind being taxed at regular income. So yeah, that's how I roll. But anyway, I do have some long-term hodls as well. I don't really talk about that much on on this show. They're people way more qualified than I am to talk about such things, but I do like my day trading. So anything else on the market overall before we jump into Altcoin Alert? Very well. Let's go to Altcoin Alert. I've got the the program open. I'm on the altcoin radar as opposed to the dashboard. I think when you sign on first, you get the dashboard view. I don't care for this. I like this view much better. And I'm going to sort by the AA scores first thing I do. So, and I'm looking for values of 80 or higher, preferably. I do have one of those that qualifies here, Harmony 1, the 1 token. And it's telling me very bullish 80.6, which means there's an 80.6% chance that the Harmony token will increase in value 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. We've also got some bullish values on the Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator. You can look at the description here. And the long-term sentiment, also bullish, which is, the word on the street, where people are talking about on Twitter. So we'll do sorts based on these a little later. But for now, I'm just going to sort by the AA score. I was looking at this earlier, so I have the 1 token up. I'm on the 5-minute chart, and I'm going to look for an entry based on what I see here, on this trading view chart. Now, most of you have seen the training for the 1, 2, 3 dip. I don't see a setup that looks like that at the moment for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use trading view to set some alerts. I'm going to turn on my indicate. These aren't indicators. Not sure what these are called, but these are where my lines are. So this is a horizontal line I'm clicking on here. You can find it over here in this menu. I'm looking where there are multiple touches here, and I'm seeing them right about here. You see touch, 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 a bunch of touches. So this is what I consider support on the 5-minute chart. And it's right around 1907, 1908. We're pretty close to that now. So this could be one area of potential entry. Another, there's a bunch more touches here, around 1840. And I'm seeing some more down here, around 1813. So if I don't want to sit here and stare at the screen all day, I can set alerts where I just set those lines. I put the lines in to illustrate where I'm seeing support. So I probably wouldn't, since we're so close to this one, I wouldn't do that one. But this one here, I would right click on my chart, add an alert. That 1840 looked just about right for me. I'm going to call this my AA score purchase. So I like to give my alert a name that tells me what the information source is. Altcoin Alert is one information source. I use iCoinPro and a couple others as well. So, and click create, and I would be good to go. But those of you who know or attended my Zooms before know that that's not the way I like to do most of my alerts. I'd rather use indicators on the 15-minute chart. So I'm gonna bounce over here to the 15-minute chart, and I've got all my indicators grayed out for the moment. There's a couple different ones that I like to use. One is divergence, which is where I'm trying to catch a dip trade. Another one is a super trend, where I'm trying to catch a minor dip and then a pump. So look at the super trend first. Click that one on. If you want to download it, you go here to the indicators on TradingView, type in super trend, and there's a few versions of it. I use this most popular one here. There are a lot of trend-based indicators that'll help you get better entries. Type in trend, and there's a whole bunch of them here. These are just the ones I've starred, and then these are all of them that have trend in them. I'm using the super trend now. I've used alpha trend, half trend, trend meter, some of these others before, trend direction force index, or the TDFI. But again, the super trend has been, this market is the one I feel, at least for me, where it has been working the best. And it's really easy to set an alert on the super trend. You can right click on it, add an alert, super trend buy, once per bar close, again, AA score, and you're good to go. So that would be one way to improve your entry in the Harmony token if you want to trade it. Another one is divergence. Divergence is when you have a disagreement between the candle action and the indicator value. It's kind of complicated. I didn't start using this till I've been trading for a year and a half or so, but I kind of like it now. And the last bullish divergence we have on this particular token is back from Saturday. So it tends to be contrarian, meaning it's trying to get you in or let you know when something's about to change. So you can see the market's trending up. So it's trying to tell us when the market's going to go down again. And some of these have worked out pretty well. This one did. On the short side, if you trade leverage, went down over 5%. That's a good short. But right now we're focused on day trading and spot trading, like you would do on, say, Coinbase Pro or Binance US or something like that. So we're just looking at potential longs. And if you want to use divergence, do some more research on it, what it's about. You can do that, and then download this indicator again. Type in divergence on your indicators. And this is the one I like. Divergence from any indicators version 4 is better than version 3. Then I add this non-repaint one as well. This will repaint sometimes. That means when it gets more information, it'll change, which will kind of mess with your back testing, but that's why I add the non-repaint version as well. But the repaint version is better for alerts. So that's why I like to have that one as well. So if you want to use this for alerts, right click on it, add an alert. We're going to go with positive divergence, once per bar close. And again, it's going to be AA score purchase. Okay. And the last one I like to do, it's probably the easiest. Well, I think the super trend is the easiest, but this is the RSI, the relative strength index. When as you can see here, when this drops below this 30 value and then starts to come back up, that's usually a good sign that it's going to return. This is considered oversold. So when it starts to come back up, that can be a good time to get in. It's not perfect, but and a lot of times when this is happening on the 15-minute chart, you can move over to the 5-minute chart and be in the midst of a 1, 2, 3 dip. So to set an alert on the RSI, right click on it, crossing up on the 30. Once per bar close and a score purchase. And you're good to go. All right, so I've shown you 3 potential modes of entry on the 15-minute chart, and then the price alert based on support on the 5-minute chart. Are there any more questions on these approaches on this particular coin?
Who is your super trend by?
Yeah, good question. And I also have changed some of the values on that. Yeah, it's this first one here. Where does it ever get? I think they're very similar. So
In your values?
I'm going to show you those. And the values are the settings on the super trend. This little gear right here, if you click on that, I've reduced the ATR period from 10 to 5, makes it a little more sensitive. So when you first download it, it'll look like that. ATR period 10 and 3. And then, but I've reduced that to 5. So something I've been tinkering with for a few weeks. I like it so far. But you shouldn't rely on just one indicator. I should have emphasized that earlier. You know, I've got these other indicators too, the RSI and I mentioned both of these before. The TDFI is a trend direction force indicator. So on trend-based indicators, I like to match these up with other ones to make sure that they're in agreement. Again, it's not a perfect system, but it is helpful. On the divergence that I showed you earlier, this is not useful because the divergence, like it sounds, is a contra indicator. It's trying to find the end of a trend, not the beginning of one necessarily. So thanks for that question. Any others? Okay, let's see what else we can find. So that's the only token that was above 80. I'll also go high 70s if necessary. And I'm looking for coins I've traded before. Like, I don't know what this SNT status is. Not enough tweets tells me that it doesn't have much volume. GNO, I've seen them on this list before, but again, haven't traded it. Dogecoin's very popular. But we did an AA score already. Let's do a sort on one of these others. Let's try the 24-hour change. Now, ideally, Altcoin Alert would tell us when something like this is going to happen, but it doesn't really work that way. It can only look at charts, so it can't really anticipate news or a whale, you know, making a huge purchase and pushing up the price. I was looking at Keep earlier. It's still pumping. Something like this I probably would not look at, thinking it's been played out already. But if you want to try to catch this, you know, use a stop loss and maybe keep riding it. You know, knock yourself out. We're on the 5-minute chart now. If I go back and look, say, on the day chart, you know, this has been in this range before, but not since, you know, not since June. So, well, actually, there's a couple times it was around 30 cents as recently as August. So, you know, it does have a history in this price area. I think we're going to see this more and more as the market starts pumping. Some of these random coins are going to start shooting up, you know, 10, 20, 50, 100% in one day. But let's see, back on the 5, if you want to try to ride this a little harder, I guess that's, you know, be my guest. There's really nothing I can show you other than what I just did. Technical wise, it's going to help you evaluate this. But anyway, I wanted to show you why I don't necessarily focus on these. when I do this kind of sort on Altcoin Alert. Just because something, when it goes up that hard, it tends to, often drops that much as well.
Could be an inverse 1, 2, 3 dip.
Yeah. Let's see if I remember how to do that. Alt I, yeah. So you can flip your chart with the Alt I on your keyboard. Instead of you have a 1, 2, 3 pump instead of a 1, 2, 3 dip. But this is for like 4 or 5. So this could be better. There's a iCoinPro that we're going to talk about in a little while has a squeeze trade function as well that they teach. They don't really emphasize it that much, but this might qualify if it comes back down, at or near the SMA line, this red line here. So if it came down here, it might bounce back up, another 10, 20%. So that might be something to do with that one. Let's see, where was I? When I do this look, or when I look at this sort, I'm looking for something just under double digits, like FTM here, 8 to 9%, which shows a nice move, but room for more. So let's look at FTM. I'm going to go through this one a little faster than the last one. Last one I went into more detail on how to download indicators and things like that. I've got videos on my chart setups from 2021. You might want to go back in my on my YouTube channel and check those out. Or I can send you a list of videos, pretty much all my videos on a spreadsheet. Patrick in our group updates that. I tend to put that out in my email list about once every month or two. All right, FTM on the 5-minute chart is also moving up, broken through the top of the Bollinger Band. So we don't really have a good setup at the moment for a dip sequence. We've got some support here, just under 40 cents. That could be a place to set an alert to evaluate later. Got some more support right here in this area, around 38 cents. And again here about 37.25 cents. So those are potential areas of support to get a good entry. On the 15-minute chart, supertrend has done really well. This buy alert flashed 3 in the morning on Sunday. If you're early or up in the middle of the night, the RSI was moving up, the TDFI was up, so that would have been a go. And if you hang in during the whole move, that's 15% move. And a similar situation here on the buy. On this buy alert that went off 4 in the morning this morning, it did have a dip first. So it dropped almost 4% and made a nice move up here, 5% move. We love 5% trades. 5% day trades, good stuff. So right click, add your alert. If you're looking for a dip trade, this bullish divergence did really well late last night. This one did as well from Saturday afternoon on the bullish side. So I already showed you how to do those alerts. And then our RSI alert, none of them came down to 30. So instead of using the 30 value, which is this gray line, you might want to use, say, 35. Yeah, right click, add your alert, crossing up, 35, once per bar close. And that's going to be our 24-hour sort. Yeah, there we go. Call it something like that. Okay. Any questions on FTM? Okay, the sort I use the most, well, the two sorts I use the most on Altcoin Alert are the Elder Impulse Daily and the long-term sentiment. Again, you can hover over here to get a description of what these are. Long-term sentiment, I'll go ahead and do that one. So if people are talking about the coin on Twitter and the technicals are good, that's something I want to look at further. So Maker is up here in this list. It's got, I don't really care about the AA score so much in this evaluation, but it doesn't hurt. So it's got a decent AA score. And then these bullish values, it's down a little bit today, but that means that it might be able to bounce back up later on today or tomorrow. So let's go to Maker and check it out. Okay. 5 minute looking kind of choppy. Only 1% between the top and the bottom of the Bollinger Band, so it's really squeezy. Got not real well defined support. 699 here and 693. One thing I like about Maker, just round numbers, no fractions, no decimals, just dollars. Okay, over on our 15-minute chart on the super trend. This buy did not do well. Went down first and eventually came back up. 2% doesn't sound like a lot, but if you pile up a bunch of 1% and 2% profits, your balance can go pretty quickly. So that was a 2% move. Since this one's kind of expensive, it doesn't have the big moves as some of the other coins, but doesn't kill you in a drop either. So there's a 1% move. Drop down 4%, probably still be in that trade. So that one's not looking that great on the super trend. Let's look at divergence. Yeah, I caught this one here really well. 5%. This one not so good. Went up a little bit, came down. Yeah, I'd probably still be in that one. Let's look at RSI, see if we get some better entries that way. Yeah, this RSI drop came back up. That's a really nice move. This one came down, came back up. Probably would have got in right about here. Drop, then up, almost 2%, not bad. I don't know. I think the others we looked at were better than this one, so I probably wouldn't set alerts on this one. Okay. And that's, you do that sometimes. You go through something, maybe you're not that familiar with it, and the moves aren't that good. It still might move, but they're just better options sometimes. So probably not gonna mark this one up. Okay, I'll look at one more sort, then we'll move over to iCoinPro. Let's see, we did the Elder Impulse, or we did the long-term sentiment. Let's do the Elder Impulse daily. And we've got, Bitcoin's up here. We just looked at that one. Let's look at Doge. I like shorting Doge, but I had a decent long with it last week, so let's check it out. Good old Dogecoin. Doge would be the opposite of Maker. It's a cheap coin. About 9 cents right now. Currently hanging around the top of the Bollinger Band. Less than 1% between the two, so that's really squeezy. Not much room to move. We've got support right around here at 87.36. That's about the only place I see it at the moment on the 5-minute. There's some back here at 88.74, but that's pretty close to where it is already. So 15-minute chart indicators. Super trend. That one did well. 8%, we like that. One 1.5%, pretty good, but you'd probably still be in that. So your question at this point might be, okay, CJ, I see where to get in, but where do I get out? So we haven't discussed that yet. So when I'm looking for an exit, there's a couple ways to do that. You could just set a percentage. I want 1%, I want 2%, I want 1.5%. 3%, 5%, you're getting, towards the higher end. Obviously, the higher percent you're seeking, the more risky it is. Altcoin Alert does say a 3% move in 48 to 72 hours. That's 2 or 3 days. It's a little longer than I like to be in a trade. So 3%. I don't always go for that. Plus, I'm usually trading on leverage, 10x leverage. So 2% for me is 20%. Of course, the risk is higher too. You shouldn't trade leverage until you're an experienced spot trader with some success. But well, I made this smaller, and I do this on either the 15 or the 5-minute chart, and sometimes even the hour chart, depending on what I'm seeing. It's like right now, you saw that flash. Let's say that buy kicked in for DOGE, and I took that buy. I'm looking at resistance instead of support now. I'm seeing some resistance here at 90.96, and again up here at 92.90. So at the 90.96, at 1.7%, not bad. And here I'm at 3.4%. I'd probably go in the low threes on this one for my exit. And so when I make my entry on the exchange, I'll set a take profit right after I'm done making the entry, right around here at 92.45. That's probably where I would get out of this one. You can also set an alert and to reevaluate, because if the thing's shooting up at 92.45, you might want to stay in longer if you can, sit at your computer and monitor it for a while, what we call live trading. So that's a lot of fun to do, and when you're in something it's pumping. But probably over 90% of the time I'm doing a valuation like I just showed you, and putting in a take profit at the moment. And then depending on the market, I'll either do an additional purchase or a ladder buy. I'll set that up, or I'll set a stop loss. I don't really have time to go into those right now, but I do talk about those on other videos, ladder buy and stop losses. So you have to figure out what kind of risk you want to assume, and then function accordingly. Okay, any questions on Altcoin Alert before I head over to iCoinPro? Okay, I'm running a little long, and I've got some new people on here, probably Carbonites, so I'm gonna do 2 quick looks at iCoinPro suggestions, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, iCoinPro is the other information source I like to use for my day trading choices, and its 2 sources within the source that I like the most are the Buddy Coin Crawler and the RSI Spy. We talked a lot about the RSI already, but this tool looks at the 1 hour. It'll let me know any coin that's below 30 if I sort it like that. And we don't have any today because most of the coins have been moving up today. If I wanted to short something, I can do it the opposite and look for coins that have shot above, the 70 value. There's quite a few of those. And we're not going to discuss shorts at the moment. So I don't really have any good examples here for this 1 hour RSI sort. The closest is this Aptos, APT. I have traded this before. The volume's really good, 197 million on Binance. But it's already, you know, over 35, so I'm probably not going to look at this at the moment. The other one I like to use is a Buddy coin crawler. In this group, the iCoinPro group, they talk about Buddy coins. It's choosing 3 or 4 coins you're going to follow throughout the day. And this will help you make that choice. If you sort average low to SMA, the low is a 24-hour low, and the SMA lines that pink red line you saw between the Bollinger Bands of my charts. So if there's a value of say 4% or higher, that's something I want to look at. It's something that's moving. It has potential to keep going. So I was looking at one of these earlier, and it's gone now. I think it was FAT, but GRT is still here. You can click on this drop-down menu, and it'll take you to a 5-minute chart for that particular token. Click on Trading View, and it'll take you right over. But I've already got this one here, so okay, GRT on the 5-minute chart. Looks like most of the others we've seen. Yeah, in a squeeze. Trying to show you an example of a 1, 2, 3 dip. Here's sort of one. So the Bollinger Bands come together a little bit and then bubble out. You get 1, 2. It really doesn't give you a third dip. So sometimes when I see this and I move up, I'll go ahead and figure out, okay, it's done 2 dips and it's bounced above the Bollinger Band. I might get in there. And had I done that, to the SMA lines, 0.77, not great. I probably would have looked at my support and resistance, and probably would have chosen this area here, around 3% to get out. And I would have gotten out around here 4 hours later. So that's a pretty good day trade. But we don't have that at the moment. And we do have some decent support here at 883. We're pretty close to that now. Might want to set an alert there. And then another area of support right about here at 844. So those are 2 potential areas of support I see at the moment. On the 15-minute chart with the indicators, super trend. Looks pretty good. Got a 4% move here. Quite a bit larger move here. Yeah, so those worked out pretty well. Our divergence options. Yeah, this bullish divergence did well eventually, and this one did too. But we haven't had one since early Sunday morning. So, but we do have one on the other indicator, the non-repaint one, forming at the moment. So we'll see if this one closes. It's got 4 more minutes. Okay, and then on our RSI alert, this one did really well. This one dropped below 30 and then shot up, quite a bit. These other 2 never made it to 30 or 35, so I probably just go with the 30 on this one. Right click, and you know the drill from here. So that is GRT. I think that one has potential. And the other buddy coin crawler I was looking at, Axie's is right at 4%. This one I've traded before. Render I've traded before. Render's has less volume, but let's check it out. Yeah, let's just go ahead and use the drop-down menu. Okay, we have a bubble, but we have our candles above the SMA line, not where we like to get in. But yeah, a lot of room to move. This could be interesting. Support right around here, 77 cents. Again, right here. Well, not really. Yeah, it's about the only place I see some structure. On the 15-minute chart, super trend. These buys mostly went sideways. Well, 3.6% in 8 hours. That's pretty good. This one obviously did really well. So that's a really good option. Divergence. Yeah, these three triggered, but didn't really do much until this big move here, but not bad. This one would have gone negative about 5%. And then gotten out here around 5%, 17 hours. That's a good day trade. I like that. And then the RSI. Yeah, this one eventually did pretty well. Dropped below 30 and then came back up, went sideways for a while. And then, yeah, worked its way back up 3%, 4%, another dip, and then, you know, a big move. All right, any questions on render? Well, any questions on anything I talked about? Altcoin Alert, iCoinPro, trading approaches, day trading approaches. I went through about 7 in 35 minutes, so kind of quick, but if I went too fast, you know, I will upload this to YouTube and send out the links. So I think everybody here should be on my email list, so you can watch those, go over them a little slower, maybe write some questions and bring them up next time. So also anybody on my list, I'll usually talk to, you know, one-on-one if you want, but I may give you homework. So, all right, well, if there's nothing else, I will go ahead and stop this here. If you're watching on the recording, I do appreciate that. Please, hopefully we'll see you live next time. And check out the opportunities listed in the pinned comment. Help support the station or the channel. And then if you're in Carbon, please stick around. We'll go over that next. Have a good one.